We are going through Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life, Chapter 1, Stand Up Straight with Your Shoulders Back. And he starts off comically with talking about lobsters. And I've shared this with my son, and I use this language with him when I see him walking around defeated, and his shoulders are over, and he's sad, and he's kind of slouching over, and you can just see it in his posture when he feels defeated. And so Peterson talks about lobsters, and he's just paints this picture. You know, there's a bunch of lobsters down there, and they get into a dispute. There's only a certain amount of resources down there as far as like food or safe places to live, and how they go about fighting for their resources. The dominance hierarchy of lobsters. He shifts over and he talks about a bunch of different animals and how they do what they do. Like wolves, if they fight, one is more dominant, the other one will roll over and give the one wolf that is winning his neck, signifying like, all right, you win, knowing that, hey, he might need that other wolf in the future, and the fight doesn't always need to escalate into, gladiator, like whoever, last one standing, where they both leave wounded and another wolf can come in and attack both of them. So he talks about that with lobsters. And let's say two lobsters come to one another and they're kind of disputing over a territory. If one had the bigger claws, the other one might just scurry away, and there's no fight to be had. They would squirt like hormones at each other, and they kind of sense like, oh man, this guy's way more healthy than me, and the other one might leave, and there's no need to ripping off limbs or fighting. And then in the next level, if they both kind of match up, they start kind of dancing and whipping their tail. And if that doesn't get one of them to leave, then they engage in a fight or a dispute. And usually one will flip the other one over, and like the wolf that gives the neck and kind of submits, the lobster that gets flipped over adopts an attitude of submission to the dominant lobster. And unfortunately, he takes that with him as he goes. And the next time a lobster comes and gets tall and flexes out, he's like, oh, I don't want to lose again, and just leaves. And he compares that to us, to humans, and how if you've been through a divorce, been through trauma, or you've been through something, you might be on the other end of that situation, but you might be carrying the posture of defeat from what has happened in your past. And he talks about the Matthew principle, is what he called it. Those that have will have more, the scripture in Matthew, and those that don't have, it'll be taken away from them. They'll have less. And there's two ends to that. When things are going wrong, there's like a feedback loop, and it can just keep spiraling down. But the opposite is true. When you find yourself in a pit, and you find yourself at the bottom, defeated, you simply start turning the other direction, and it could quickly spiral up. This first chapter is a call to radical ownership, taking responsibility for your life, and instead of running away or shrinking or avoiding, like standing up with your shoulders back and facing responsibility, facing the things that you have in front of you. And that Matthew principle that I was talking about, like the feedback loops, he talks about, like, consider an alcoholic. They have a few drinks, and the feeling of the blood sugar going up is a great feeling. And whenever they stop drinking, it starts to metabolize, and then they have a hangover. And hey, there's a cure. If you drink a little bit more, that will cure the hangover. And you could get caught in a feedback loop where the cure becomes the thing that you get caught in. And he talks about the same thing with somebody who has extreme fear. He talks about a patient that he had that was going out, she was in her 40s. She had like a big situation happen. Somebody died in the family. She had not really experienced that kind of grief before. She's just carrying it in her stomach, and she's feeling stress at a level she hadn't felt before. And she's going out to the mall, and her heart starts racing. And when her heart starts racing, she starts to have even more fear, and she starts thinking, man, I'm having a heart attack. And then the fear of maybe having a heart attack, it gets even more fear, and it's this feedback loop of fear and anxiety and stress. So she goes to the hospital, and I think I'm having a heart attack. The results come back, and they said everything seems to be fine. and she's happy with the news, but also not really knowing what all that was. And then the next time, the worst part about the whole feedback loop in this scenario is the next time this person goes back to the mall, starts feeling that same fear and heartbeat, and so avoids, like, I'm not gonna go to the mall, like the parking lot is kind of, I'm just gonna leave. And then right there, that person's body has signified or put a marker. Okay, hey, this person, they ran away from the mall, let's mark that as danger. And anytime they come into that situation again, it is going to put the check engine light on, it's going to signify. And so he just really breaks down how we have these feedback loops where a kid was extremely bullied when they were young. They may not be in that situation anymore. They may be very successful, or they may be going out in college, or they have their job, you know, whatever they're doing, but they're still carrying the posture of being defeated when they were young. And he was talking about how that Matthew principle, those who have will have more. And start with your posture. Start with what's something you can do, that you will do, that will move you in the right direction. So stand up straight with your shoulders back. It talks about a study that was done, and they had 1,000 people, and they had them connected to labs and all the stuff, and they had them slowly move muscles in their face to smile. And as they smiled, they reported that they felt happier. And then they did the same thing. They moved the muscles in their face to be sad. When they were sad, they felt more sad. And so he points out, like, someone might say, like, hey, you don't know how bad it is. You can't just say, put your shoulders back and go face it. Like, and again, that victim mentality. Like, if you signify to yourself, most importantly, but it'll also signify to everyone else, if you stick your shoulders back and you check your posture and you smile and you move forward in the day, that small step of going in the right direction can compound and have massive effects in the future. And the same is true going down. So faith upon faith, precept upon precept. Go face the world. I call it Godfidence, knowing fully who God has created you to be. Get a little swag in your day. Stand up straight. Put your shoulders back. The science in there, the serotonin starts going, and there's something powerful about posturing your body. And it's not just your body, but it's also just declaring in the spirit that, hey, I'm going to face the day. Greater is He that is within me than he that is in the world. So I hope you were encouraged with that. And I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. Chapter 2 is treat yourself as if you were somebody who you cared about. And what I want to leave you with today is check your posture. Put your shoulders back. Play with it today. Try to walk around for a few minutes, or just while you're sitting at your desk, and just kind of put your shoulders back and see how you feel. And again, that's so much more than just your posture. It's your attitude. It's your spirit. It's your soul. You're not a victim. You can handle more than you think you can. You're bigger than the fear that faces you. And go and seize the day. With that being said, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Over and out.